Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are we on? Are we on? Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I am your host, Glenn Pooh Harding. And oh boy, we have a very special guest. This basketball head is a Bronx native who didn't play much in high school, or shall I say at all, because of his grades. But he played collegiately at Kingsborough Community College and had a 2-year Hall of Fame career. Did y'all hear me? No high school basketball, but had a 2-year Hall of Fame career at Kingsborough Community College here in Brooklyn. This basketball head will go on to score 1,000 points. He became Freshman of the Year, first team All-Conference, first team All-League, second in scoring on the team, first in steals, first in assists, and was co-captain. Man, do it get any better than this? Well, check it out. His sophomore year, this basketball head became CUNY Player of the Year. First team again. He was All-Conference. First team All-League. Led the team in scoring. That's right. He went from second to first. Second in assists, second in steals. This basketball head will go on and be inducted into Kingsborough College Hall of Fame in 2015. This basketball head was also heavily recruited by plenty of colleges, but chose to stay home and raise a family instead. We'll get into those schools because y'all going to be pleasantly surprised. After college, this basketball head became the founder and director of Dyckman Youth Enterprises and the founder and CEO of Dyckman Basketball Tournament. Since its inception in 1990, this basketball head has been committing to ensuring the health, growth, and sustainability of the organization, establishing a community-based program that assists over 500 families. I'm going to say it like this. Dyckman is the #1 basketball tournament in New York City, aka the red carpet of street basketball. There, I said it. Besides that, this basketball head was Junior Knicks Coach of the Year. Currently, associate head coach at Hostos Community College and varsity coach at Roosevelt High School in New Rochelle. And he did both varsity and JV. So, guy's doing a lot of things. He is the embodiment of changing the narrative and giving back to the community. So, without further ado, help me welcome to the show, Kingsborough Community College Hall of Fame inductee, basketball coach at Roosevelt High School and Hostos Community College, and the founder of Dyckman Basketball. Let me tell you, if I were to read his whole biography, that would be the whole show. So let's go.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's happening, my brother?
Yo, what's good, my brother? How you feeling, man? Thanks for that
Man.
intro. That was amazing, man. I was trying to figure out who you was talking about, man.
Man, let me tell you. Like I said, I had to take out some process, man. This intro gonna be so long. Look, like I told you earlier, man, I was just so impressed. I was so impressed by all the things that you did and just how truthful you was in telling your story. So hopefully tonight we can give this to the world and let them know who the real Ken Stevens is behind
Absolutely.
the man that's run one of the greatest basketball tournaments in American history.
Thank you, man. Whatever you want, man. You know, let's get to it so we can the listeners and the viewers hear the journey along with some stuff they probably didn't know. So let's enlighten them. Why not?
I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Thanks for having me.
Oh no doubt. Listen, I'm gonna say this. I know you keep your ear to the streets because when I ask you, to come on the show and let you know about you, it's like, man, I know about the show already, man. I'm tapped in. And this was like over a year ago. So I tell people it's all, we just try to make sure we get the dates right and make sure it's the right time. And today's the day.
Right. You're a product of what you produce, right? And what you guys been doing over the all the many years. The product speaks for itself, of course. If you don't know what Basketball Heads is, you just don't have an idea of what's going on in New York City. So salute to you guys and continue, what you guys doing in your journey and making sure that people get a chance to come on this pilot and speak the truth.
No doubt. And tonight we're gonna get yours. So who introduced you to the game?
My brothers. I had two older brothers, Michael Stevens and Melvin. My older brother, Poppy Moore, was a basketball head. He was younger, and when he used to go play, I used to go with him and his older friends, and I would sit on that side. I was the guy, like, during warm-ups, I would be passing them the ball, and also, they would reward me by, a couple of dollars, hey, like that. So I was introduced to the game maybe like around 6, 7, So I've been playing and I've been a part of basketball for a very long time.
Indeed. What part of New York you from, fam? Well, I know, but tell everybody.
Yeah. So I grew up Lower East Side, 3rd Street Avenue C, for people that's down in that part of Alphabet City understand what I'm talking about. And then, like, around 7 years old, my family moved to Dyckman Housing Complex, and remember, that's in Manhattan. The other side of the bridge is the Bronx. But and I was there for 40-something years. Kind of went to school there, elementary school, junior high school, and then for high school I went to John F. Kennedy in the Bronx. So I was in the Dyckman community for like 40-something years, I would say.
That's considered Washington Heights, correct?
Correct. Yeah, like a little bit like upper Manhattan, yeah, but it's all the heights. It's all together. Yep.
So, you got to excuse me. I'm a Brooklyn dude.
To your heart.
Everything is uptown to us. Yeah, that's uptown, right? So uptown you guys is the BX and go on like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
So, like, let's talk about, like, when did you start to get into basketball? Like, we know your brother introduced you to the game, but when did you start going outside, and when did you
So in our backyard, in the back of our housing complex was our park, and our park used to be a site for the Holcomb Rucker League. Mm-hmm. So coming out of our on the weekends, every weekend the Holcomb Rucker League was right there in our backyard. That league was run by Mr. Couch. At that time was the site director for the Holcomb Rucker League, who kind of introduced me to the game as far as from organized standpoint, and I kind of stayed under the Dyckman umbrella for many, many years. And once the league, the Holcomb Rucker League, diminished, or they condensed their site, so it was Dyckman, Mount Morris, Colonel Young, which is now in Tri-State, and I think that's it, right? Dyckman, Melbank, Colonel Young, and Mount Morris. Those were the 4 sites.
Mhm.
And then they took away Mount Morris, and they took away Dyckman and Melbank and Colonel Young, which is now Tri-State. Those 2 sites remain for the Holcomb Rucker League.
No doubt, no doubt. And we're gonna come back with the Coach Couch, so
Sure.
we can just kind of explain this whole story, because I know I was confused, and a lot of people out there probably is confused, but we're gonna get the story straight tonight.
That's
for
fine.
sure.
No problem. No problem.
Who was the best player in your neighborhood when you was coming up?
Oh wow, that's a good question. Well, it depends on what you were looking for, right? Chris Couch, Mr. Couch's older son, used to be really, really good. Yeah, Richard Pass, who was another a local ball player who went to Mammoth. Paul Wilson. These are the guys that I looked up to when I was younger. Nathaniel Thorpe. It's a bunch of community guys that was really, really good when we was younger that kind of inspired me to put that ball in my hand and do something good with it.
You see how he named a few, asked him who was the best. So, and it's kind of hard when you're coming up because there's so many ball players in New York. It's just
right.
crazy.
So in our community, of course you gotta give the credit to the older guys, because the older guys, when we was younger, they was the one that pulled your coat to not only basketball but different stuff, life skill stuff. So those was the guys that when I came up was my inspiration and motivation. That I want to be like him. This handle is crazy. You know what? This guy's hops is crazy. You know what? This one shoots. There was no social media to look at a person and be like, oh, this guy got this many likes. Nah, you went to the park and kind of mimicked your game after people in the community or people that you're seeing
in real time. Yo, Ken.
Yo,
you was a early track star. Like, we know this is basketball heads, but your first trophy was in track.
Yo, you did your homework, my guy.
I do my homework all the time, man.
In junior high school, well, not even junior high school, in elementary school, PS 152, there used to be assistant principal, Mr. Hassett. And Mr. Hassett used to get all the people in the community and that had talent and put us all on the track team. We used to run track over at Van Cortlandt, 242nd Street. And that was kind of like another introduction to a different sport. And I didn't realize, when you're young, you know that you're fast. But then as you go against other guys, like, wait, I'm kind of faster than regular guys. So, yeah. And plus, that was kind of like one of the things that was one of my high attributes when I was young. I was able to be, I was kind of fast with and without the basketball. So, as you get older, things start slowing down a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, we all know that. But I know that's the last thing people would think, right? You talk
right.
I was one of the fastest guy in my community, and they look at you now, older, be like, yeah, you didn't run no track. You probably played some ball, but not run track.
Now, it's funny because the kids that look at me like, yo, you play football? They ain't no football, bro. I was a basketball dude, They look at you and think that you woke up and you became this age.
Right.
They don't realize that, you had a journey and you had a life and you was younger and you was much slimmer and all that other stuff. So I try to educate the kids as much as I can, I try to keep a lot of my story and my journey away from them and try to, focus on what they're doing and try to, see how I can elevate and enhance their play or whatever.
Now, also read when you went to junior high school, there was no basketball team, but
Nope.
you guys played, in outside leagues in that
Yo, where you get this information from?
capacity.
Yo, where you get this information from? A lot of people don't know this. So where you got that from?
Yo, fam.
Yo, where you got that from? Nope. Because you're right, at junior high school too, there was no basketball team, but they had like a CYO league, an intramural league.
Yeah.
Intramural league, like after school, and some of our, the neighborhood guys was on different teams and we used to compete hard against each other, but it was all loving basketball, And then over at St. Jude's was they had the CYO league there, and that's where myself and another one of the co-founders, Michael Jenkins, we started playing at an early age together. So that was another introduction to organized basketball. That's way back when, CYO league, man. You taking me back. I don't know where you got that from, but a lot of people don't know that. That's That's doing your homework.
And you was driven too because you wanted to win all the awards. Like you was self-determined. Like, you know what? I want to win the MVP. I want to win all the awards that they have because, you know, your school don't have a basketball team. So you got to make the best out of the opportunity once you get to play.
But that's part of it. The other part of it is as kids, and again, these kids don't really share this experience. It's when you go to your man's house, you see all these trophies. Like, yo, this guy you must be really, really good. And that's kind of what inspired. Plus, you know, I go home without a trophy. My brother be going crazy. Like, you ain't win nothing? You ain't win nothing? Oh man. But I tried my best and did my best. I tried to be a good teammate, you know, of course, when I could. But that was when you was younger, and you know it because I see it behind you. The more trophies you had, probably like the nicer you was. That was everything. Yo, come in my room, man. Look what I did. You know. So yeah, that was it.
Nah, that was definitely the move back then. Yeah. My cousin, rest in peace, Cortez Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
He played for Madison High School, and when I used to go to my aunt's house, I had to see all his trophies, and I was so amazed. Like, I had no idea. I never saw a basketball game at this point, but I just knew everybody was proud of him for having them because they all showed us. Every time we went in the house, everybody talked about my cousin and all of the accomplishments he had. And I said, you know what? One day, I'm gonna get me some trophies. I didn't know what they were. I just know they was gold, they were big, and he had a lot of them. It was like,
yes. And the bigger the trophy you was back then, it was kind of like either the tournament was really good or the nicer you were. So
there you go.
You know, it's funny because the kids these days they don't play for that no more. It's a different time right now. You know, plus you know now you look at they take up a lot of space. So.
Right.
I have no idea now where one of my trophies was.
Probably my lot of mine broke, bro. A lot of mine broke.
The ones my mom's house, you might have one or two from way back when.
Right.
Yeah. You played for the goal. You played for the end result, whether the MVP of the tournament or the championship of the league or whatever it is. You know, that was, and you know, everybody in the community competed.
Facts. So your next move was to John F. Kennedy, right?
Yep.
Legendary high school. How was your transition in high school on and off the court?
Oh man, that was like kind of like the pivotal point in my basketball career because I went from junior high school where you travel as a class together to now you're going to John F. Kennedy High School and you got all this independence, all this freedom. You know, I talk to the kids about it all the time, and it was challenging. My journey at John F. Kennedy High School was kind of a blur because I wasn't the best student there, and I admit I wasn't the best student there. And then when I decided to get myself together and go off with a basketball team, like everybody was telling me to do, I was already in my 5th year, so I played like 3 or 4 games, and then the PSAL kind of tapped me on my shoulder and said, hey, you're a 5th year senior, you can't play no more, which again was another kind of like pivotal point in my life. So, but yeah, I played on the team with Omar Booth, with Stu Barnett, Bob McCullough Jr., you know, played with a lot of Will Taylor, a lot of my high school teammates. We still very good friends to this day. So
shout out to my guy Omar Booth, who we played in Madison Square Broncos together, and Stu Barnett. We all battled against each other.
And I must say that Omar Booth is another co-founder of the Dyckman basketball tournament.
No doubt.
Omar Booth, myself, Omar Booth, and Michael Jenkins, those are the co-founders of the Dyckman basketball tournament. So I guess we'll talk about that as we move along as well, because sometimes the narrative gets kind of confused about Dyckman with Holcomb Rucker and Dyckman with the Dyckman basketball tournament. So we could get some clarity on that while we have an opportunity to.
And you just earned your first check of the night, man. For those of you that don't know, this is inspired by the referee and honor the referee because they have, you know, one of the hardest jobs in the game.
Yeah.
But on this podcast,
yeah,
it's a positive thing, right?
Always positive.
Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
always positive. I have not a negative soul or bone in my body by anything. This journey that I have been on for the last 33 years, the Dyckman basketball tournament, was all love and lessons. That's all it has been, love and lessons. There's, in order for us to get to where we are, we had to go through some stuff like anybody else, you know. And the trials and tribulations we been through kind of paved the way to where we are right now as, like you said, one of the top tournaments here in New York City.
It's the top tournament, fam. I'm here to let you know. And you know, I'm the commissioner for the Brevoort Basketball League. We're one of them. And listen, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, I gave you that first text because, you know,
Okay.
you didn't sit here and gloat like it was all about you. You made sure you spread love to the other guys who was there in the beginning, who helped you start, you know, Dyckman.
Right.
And that's definitely, man, shows a lot about your character.
Well, thank you, man. Please, no more. I hope I don't get no more texts than the rest of this.
Now the text is a good thing, man. The text.
Oh, the text are good things.
Oh, the text is a good thing. Oh, the text is a good thing. Tell him, Ayatollah. My man, he been waiting for, because he know I'll be ringing him off. And let me tell you, when I started this, you know, I get a text from Derek Cheevers watching the show. He like, how come you didn't have the whistle during my show? And other people, why you didn't have the whistle for my show? That, you know, it been incorporated, man. So yeah, I had Bernard Bowen on here, and I'll let him know.
Senior or junior?
Senior.
Senior.
And then we'll
both of those are my guys.
We're gonna get Junior on later, but I want to give Senior his flowers early.
As he deserves it. As he deserves it.
There you go.
Pioneer, triple OG in the game, and just a beautiful heart, beautiful spirit, and one of the mentors of mine whenever I need advice or just, you know, a brother to sit down and have dinner and chop it up with. Great spirit, great heart.
And you know, running the tournament, how hard the job of the referee.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm happy you said that, right? Because for the so when I first started the tournament, and I'm gonna take you back a little bit.
That's
so
okay.
With Cornell Hampton, right? Cornell Hampton and Sonny Lewis, Roland, those guys was the guys.
Hold on, fam. Sonny Lewis and Roland, Brooklyn's own Sonny Lewis. Yo, let me tell you. Look. You see, hold on, there's a trophy right there. You see that big trophy in the back?
Yeah.
MVP for the St. Louis tournament 1988 in Brevoort Coliseum.
Nice.
Hey,
Nice.
Yo, you just named some names right there, brother. Hold on, you gonna get another one for that. Rest in peace, Sonny Lewis, and salute to my guy Roland.
So these are the guys that kind of helped start the tournament with, and I met those guys over at in Left Right City in 6 Feet and Under many years ago. And as we started our tournament, I talked to Sonny about, and again at that time I didn't have no idea about no assigners and nothing like that. So I asked him, would he come and referee some of the games that we have going on in the park? Because it kind of started out, the tournament started off with like pickup games. And Sonny would come, and Sonny would, you know, come with Roland, and then you see Cornell Hampton coming with Sonny, and that's kind of like spearheaded, you know, how the tournament started. But those guys actually laid the groundwork for myself of how a referee is supposed to come prepared for the game. And then we had Eric Weaver, who came behind them, Artie Green. I think it's Artie Green.
Salute Eric Weaver, my guy.
Al Sharpton. Yeah, yep. Eric Weaver, like another triple OG, big brother of mine, mentor of mine. I don't get a chance to tell him how much he means to me and to the tournament, all the stuff that he's done over the many years. And we continue to, you know, to be positive with each other and support each other as much as we can. No, but he was with Dyckman basketball for a very long time. He's a pillar in that park and really did a lot for not only me personally, but for the Dyckman community.
Eric Weaver was the first one to buy a basketball head hoodie. He hit me up and told me, he's like, yo, Pooh, I love your logo. You need some merch, fam.
Yep.
I made it happen. And as soon as I told him I had it, he was like, yo, I'm coming to get 2 hoodies right off the rip. Always support from day one. He'll be on here soon. Watch for sure.
Anthony Price Hands, another one who. So
Wow.
these are the signers that was been with me for a long time. Steve Strickland. If I go over it, I can go through 1,000 names of the guys that's been with Dyckman for many years. But all the guys that came through and kind of, again, your tournament is based upon the personnel that you have that's helping govern it, right? So these guys who, again, you forget about them because they don't want to be part of the wins or the loss, but they are the reason why the game is going the way it's going. So we can't ever forget about them, and we have to continue to, like you said, salute them and give them their flowers for all the good stuff they have been doing for many years.
Sonny Lewis was the most animated referee I've ever seen. He put me on to so much game, and those Saturday morning, Sunday morning games, he'll be out there, orchestrating everything, cut back door, set a pick, all those things that guys didn't know about. St. Louis put guys on, man. So salute again, St. Louis. And I heard Roland when he played, he used to jump out the gym. So we could go
I did hear that as well. Guys, I did hear that as well, And remember, these guys are gentlemen. These are pioneers in the game, but these guys are gentlemen, And I don't know if I ever heard Sonny speak over volume 5 or 6. He say what he got to say and he move on. That's it. I don't remember being in the game where he had to give out text because of the level of respect that people have for him. He just say what he got to say and that's it. So I met him in 6 feet and under. Great guy. Rest in peace.
6 feet and under. Y'all understand what Ken is saying? That 6 feet under tournament was legendary.
Legendary, yes.
Like that was a legendary tournament. That was crazy.
So the guy George who ran the tournament way back when, again, that's kind of what a couple of things inspired me to do for us. Well, I don't want to say me, for us to do the tournament was 6 feet and under was one. And also the Hogan Rucker League, which was in our backyard, was the other one. And as we played and went to college and all that other stuff that we've done, and now you're not playing as much no more. Like, hey, let's invite guys to the park. I know we're going to get into that part of it, but that's how the tournament started.
And I'm not going to just let you breeze over college either. We're not just going to let you just breeze over there like it just didn't happen. But a quick Sonny Lewis story, because you talk about the respect people have for him. There was an incident that happened during the game with the original 50 Cent, the gangster, not the rapper.
Okay.
And Sonny went up the Coliseum steps and asked him to calm it down so we could continue the game. He said, Sonny, for you, I got you. And he left the game.
Right.
Like, that right there showed me the amount of respect that man had. Of course, he had it for the ball players, but when you have it from a gangster like that,
right,
you mean something to the community.
And the love that he had for the game, right?
Yes.
The love that he kind of demanded for the respect of the referees. Like, it's not that you don't see that these days, but he wore those stripes like a badge. This is who I am. This is what I do. Respect that. So yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know where we would be tournament wise if it wasn't for guys like Sonny and Cornell Hampton, and Roland, those guys, and of course the later on when Eric Weaver kind of took over and Hands took over. So I'm forever grateful for the relationships that I've gathered over the many years. This all the stuff that we do. It's all relationships, man. All of it.
That's right. So let's jump back into you getting a chance to play basketball again, right? Okay. Because I think this is a very pivotal point in your life where you took advantage of your opportunity. See, a lot of kids who end up in your situation usually just give up and go straight to the streets.
Right.
How did you get to
Kingsborough?
First of all, fam, you from uptown.
Right.
That's why I was stuck. Like, yo, what the hell? He went from uptown to King. How did you do that?
So let's go back.
Every day.
So let's go back. When I was at Kennedy, this is pre-Johnny Mathis era. I was coached by Earl Myers. Earl Myers was the head coach at Kennedy High School when I was there. And his assistant coach was Dennis Padilla, right? And along with another coach, Sonny. So when I got removed from the team, right? Remember, I'm going against some of the top guys in the city every day at practice. I was able to hold my own. So when I got removed from the team, now these coaches got the job at Kingsborough. That's how I got there. They came back. I promise you, this is a true story. I'm walking down Nagel Avenue right there by the Dyckman Housing Complex. And Mr. Padilla, who now is the head coach at Kingsborough, and Mr. Myers come together in their car, blowing the horn, bam, bam, Kenny. Like, trying to figure out what's going on. Like, hey, come out. They get out the car. Like, hey, we are now the new head coaches at Kingsborough Community College, and we want to know, are you interested in, like, what are you doing? Are you interested in going to college? I'm like, college, yeah, but I remember I never heard of it. Never heard of Kingsborough. Like, Kingsborough's in Brooklyn, and I said, oh, so in Brooklyn, you gotta, at that time, I talked to my mom, and my mom says, okay, then set up a meeting. They came to, I promise, they came to my living room, talked to my mom, and we put some stuff in place for me to get there and get back, and that's kind of how I got to Kingsborough. Now, remember, at high school, nobody seen me really play. I only played like 3 or 4, maybe 5 games. You know how they have, and this is for some of the guys that's listening, they have the big game Thanksgiving at City College.
Mm-hmm.
That was like my last time taking the court as a high school basketball player. That Monday when we got back to off the vacation, that's when the coaches alerted me like, hey, you exceeded your time as a student athlete here for PSL, and we have to remove you from the team. So I went like 2 years, right? Because I was like 85, 86, like 86. And then they got the job at 87. So I was out of school for only like a few months. And then I went to Kingsborough, and kind of I put it in my head, nobody knows me. So I could kind of do whatever I want to do. But they don't know if I can go left, they don't know if I can go right. And I'm traveling through 3 boroughs.
Let's give a shout out for that. A tech is going to be blown right now because it's a dude from uptown coming down to Brooklyn. Make some noise for that. Not too many dudes travel from uptown, come down to Brooklyn to play, and especially during those times.
Right.
You know?
And so now now we'll go back to that story. But so now coaching at Hostos, we played against Kingsborough last night, which the head coach is a brother, Marlon Bichelle.
Bichelle, definitely my guy. Yeah.
We worked together at a residential treatment center agency years ago. So me and Shell had a prior relationship, and it was because of Lamb Bichelle and him talking to the athletic director and all the other stuff. And he kind of went back like you did and did the history of my timeline at Kingsborough. Then I got the call about, hey, what you did for 2 years here, scoring over 1,100 points and all the other accolades I had over there. We want to induct you to the Athletic Hall of Fame there. So yesterday when I was there, we was talking about that, and like everything that you've done here and all the stuff that they continue to do for you here, like that's all based all on you. I just put it in the right person's desk so they could see it. So that's how that's how the Hall of Fame at Kingsborough happened as well. So along with
y'all heard all those accolades.
Huh?
Facts. I said, and y'all heard all the accolades that I read in the intro, man. 2 years, you definitely accomplished a lot. You accomplished more than a lot of people do in 4 years. So salute to you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. You know, I and so now when I'm talking to these kids that's coaching at Hostos, again, we'll get into that as well. I push them, and I get them to understand you never know who's watching. Continue to play hard, and you know, and also your character. People, they don't understand. Like, you might not be the greatest ball player in the world, but your character can get you to that next level. That character can get you a scholarship. That the way you handle yourself, the way that you prepare. You don't think people are watching when you're warming up? You think people are not watching that? You don't think people are watching as you are supposed to be warming up and you playing around, or you on your phone? Like, nah. So I'm that person. Like, hey, guys, let's try to stay focused, locked in for your pregame and all other stuff, and just be a good person as much as you can.
Do you believe that it was God's purpose to have you come up short in high school so you can appreciate everything that happened for you in college?
I think that God had me take the rough road so I could smooth the path out for people coming behind me, you know? So that's, as I look at it, and again, all this is God's work, right? All the stuff that we do and giving back to the community, like, this is not, this can't be done without the blessings and the vision of the person above who's watching down on everything that we do. So yeah, it's I promise you, it hasn't been an easy journey, but you know, we continue on, and you know, you don't look back with no regrets.
But what you did was you never gave up, right?
Never gave up. Nope.
And it was persistence that allowed you to accomplish all the things that you accomplished in college and become part of the Hall of Fame. So that lives on forever.
Forever. As you go there, you know, it's because when we first started going there, after they did the ceremony, right, I would take the kids over because they used to have like an area down in the athletic department where they had the plaque, the Ken Stevens Hall of Fame, Athletic Hall of Fame plaque on the wall, but they kind of revamping that whole area. So yesterday I was there like, hey, if you're not gonna keep the plaque, let me take it with me. They was like, oh no, the plaque is, we're just putting it in a higher profile space. I'm like, oh yes. I mean, okay. Now I was like that. I thought y'all was putting it in the box over there. I'm like, nah, no way. So that felt good to hear yesterday as I was there. And I usually take the kids and show them, like, hey, listen, as much as, you know, I'm a little older now, and as much as we joke around, like, yo, the work is the work, man. The work is the work, you know, and some of you guys can't get on the flyer for today's game, yo. I'm embedded in the wall here.
That's right.
So let's never take that away from, you know, who we are, what we're doing, the person that you, again, sometimes you don't know who's in front of you. You know, they see us now, we're a little older, you're OG, however they talk. Fam, I got a history, I got a journey too, like anybody else. So,
that's right.
But you know, that's just, you know.
They're gonna know tonight. They're gonna know today. I'm telling you, they're gonna know today. Freshman of the year, all conference, first team all league, second in the team in scoring, first in steals, first in assists, and was co-captain as a freshman. And then as a sophomore, he was player of the year. He was CUNY player of the year.
CUNY player of the year. You know, that sophomore year was much harder than my freshman year because, again, nobody knew me. So I was on no scouting report the first year because it's Kingsborough. They're not thinking the person from uptown. It's going to be in Brooklyn. And my first year there, I played with a Albanian killer. He was amazing. Becky Balaban. He was 6'4", like 230, 240 at that time, dunking. And that was like really my first time really seeing Albanian white boy going like a baby Dirk back then.
Wow.
So that's how I became second in scoring, because I was, hey, take that hit, feed him. And he was doing his thing. So again, and some of the guys that played with me at Kingsborough, at Kennedy at that time, made the transition over to Kingsborough with Will Taylor, Tracy, Reginald Peters, Harold Hutchinson. These are guys that I was going to school with now. So as the transition went from high school to college, I also had some familiar faces with me and friends that we all knew each other. You know what I'm saying? So that was good as well. The coaches did that. The coaches brought some guys from uptown out to Brooklyn, and you know we was okay. We didn't win CUNY at that time. I didn't even understand the magnitude of CUNY or regionals. I didn't understand none of that stuff really till I started coaching. You know, we just hooping.
Right.
Yo, when do we play? Who do we play? What kind of game? You know what I mean? And that was more the mindset, you know, and kill everybody as much as you can. You kill everybody. And then as I started coaching now at Hostos, like, damn, yo, we didn't even really compete for a CUNY championship when I was here. And then the CUNY, then we ain't compete for regionals. It wasn't until after I left when it started doing the extra recruiting with Jimmy Witt, Candino, all those other guys, Jimmy Ice, you know, Hydro Matone. That's when the teams really started picking up, and they won a whole lot of different accolades at Kingsborough. But I wouldn't change it, man. I wouldn't change the journey. I wouldn't change what I did for the school and what the school kind of did for me, and so on and so forth. So I appreciate you even bringing that up and let me tell that story, because you know a lot of kids don't know.
They don't know, but also in order to accomplish that in 2 years, you had to hit the books and get serious about your academics.
Yep. The academics at Kingsborough was again in the first year I was struggling because I wasn't, again, now I'm in a different setting, different borough. Now the independence from going from high school to college is totally different, right? Because college, ain't nobody saying, yo, you missed class today. Ain't nobody saying, yo, you didn't study for this exam. When high school was so that you had to make that transition. I made that a little later on, more towards my second part of my freshman year. Like, damn, if not, you know, you fell off.
That's right. No basketball.
You know, and you're already in a second chance opportunity. The last thing you want to do is be ineligible. So now you're in a second chance opportunity. You become ineligible. The schools that was interested in you, they not, man, you can't fail off in JUCO, you know, and then looking for a scholarship somewhere else, you know. So that was kind of like the mindset, but it was a good experience. The coaches, I promise you, I owe them so much for just giving me the opportunity. Earl Myers and head coach Dennis Padilla, they all I knew. You know what I mean? They believed in me and came to Dyckman Projects to get me and bring me out to Kingsborough, you know. So
yeah, salute to those coaches, man.
Salute to them.
For sure. So after accomplishing all that you accomplished, you was getting recruited by some pretty heavy schools, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, you mentioned some of the schools you was getting recruited by, and then explain what kind of, you know, derailed that situation.
So I don't know. I was being recruited by USC back then. I got a couple of letters from Georgetown. I got a letter from, well, you know, of course they said I was getting shoebox full of different mail, but the ones that was heavy on me, at that time Norfolk State was on me. It was a lot of schools that was on me. So kind of what happened was my senior year at Kingsborough, the young lady I was dealing with at the time, I don't want to go into all the other stuff, became pregnant. So as I was trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do? Am I going to finish school or continue my education? Or am I going to go into the workforce area? Sat down with my father. My father talked about rest in peace. We talked about it, like, you got to make that decision and be able to live with it every day. You know, at that time, I really wanted to continue playing, continue my education, continue playing basketball. And when my son was born, my oldest son, Keon, was born, I just said, it's time for me to think about not putting the basketball down right now, but pivoting to work, and that's kind of how that happened. You know, it wasn't something I look back and be like, you know what, I regret it, but it was more like, hey, I got to do what's good for my young son that's coming into this world, that the unknown, right? Everything is the unknown, so that's kind of how everything transpired. And then when I thought about going back to continue, I was playing in the community, playing in one of the local parks, and fractured my ankle. I fractured my right ankle in one of the parks, and that kind of like took a little bit of the sails, the wind out of the sail.
That's right.
And it's not like now you fracture your ankle, you back on the fucking court in 3 weeks. This technology is crazy. I fractured my ankle and I was limping for damn near 8 weeks. You know what I mean? After you take the cast off, and then the leg is got to get strong again. So again, it's a different time right now, but I don't look back and have no regrets of my journey and kind of what I've done and haven't done. So I try to encourage the kids to continue on their journey right now while they can. People don't understand that after a certain time that basketball starts deflating just a little bit. It don't happen overnight, and sometimes you don't realize it. And I really wanted to walk away from playing on my own. You know what I mean? I don't want to be carted off or whatever, and then have this major injury. So that's part of the journey and the history of Ken Stevens with Kingsborough, along with my playing days.
Yeah, and having that injury, they always said it's better to break the ankle than fracture, because sometimes if you fracture, it never heals properly.
Never. I think I limped every morning for years, and every now and then, you're right. The doctor said it would have better if you would have broke it.
Mm-hmm.
That fracture was, and one of my attributes as a young guy. Not only was I fast, I was able to jump. So after I fractured my ankle, like, I was scared to jump. I was scared to come down, not jump.
Right.
Because you're trying to come down and you don't know, your mind is telling you that you don't want to get injured again. So now you start putting the weight on the other leg. And I realized that, let's figure out what else we could do,
That's right. My body is telling me no.
Yeah.
Right? So my mind is telling me no, but my body's breaking down. Yeah. Yo, so how did you, Omar Booth, and I forgot who else you
Michael
mentioned.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you guys come up with the idea to start the Dyckman tournament?
Again, like I said, we was already inspired from me and Michael playing 6 feet and under, and of course Omar was 6'9", so he couldn't play in 6 feet and under. So we would go to the tournaments on the weekends, and he would do the thing with Mr. Couch doing the record tournament, whatever. So we always wanted to play, and then on Sundays we started playing pickup. We used to go to the Army base in Brooklyn, where we met a lot of our good friends to this day out in Brooklyn. We used to go to Queens, we used to go to Connecticut. And it used to be 5 of us in this Toyota Tercel. We had our own little nickname, 5 Deep. No subs. Let's go. Let's get in the car and let's go. Let's figure out during the week who has run this weekend. And then we realized that, wait a minute. We going to all these parks. Our park is not that bad. Why don't we met my man John from Connecticut. Like, yo, John, why don't you bring 5 down to Dyckman this Saturday and play some games? I'll invite my man from Brooklyn, my guys from Brooklyn, Roger and the guys. And that's kind of how the tournament started. Then it started getting a little hectic. Yo, you know what? Yo, come down, I need you to ref. That's remember how that goes.
Facts.
Guy
Dudes
comes
arguing
down,
over calls. Sometimes that game take about 2 hours.
come down, then the next weekend, yo, you wear red shirts, I wear orange shirts, you wear green shirts, and that's kind of how the tournament started many years ago. And as you know, the years went on. Michael Jenkins, Omar Booth had to commit to work obligations and family obligations, and I wasn't sure what I was doing except for we played the first 3 years, right? We won the championship the first 3 years, in Dyckman running the tournament. Then our fourth year, we lost to Coast to Coast, which my man Ike C and his team bumped us, and after that. We ain't play. I didn't play there no more, and I didn't play nowhere else no more. That was 1990. Well, we didn't play out there no more. 1994, around there. But that's how the tournament started. It started with, regular pickup games and to 6 teams, bring your own shirts. To now we have 130-some teams.
Man, that's crazy. And listen, the first time I really heard about Dyckman, right?
Yeah.
Was through Coach Couch and his connection. But I didn't know that it was a whole nother tournament in there because us from Brooklyn always connected the whole Rucker tournament to Rucker Park.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So
which was two different things, really.
There were 2 different things which I didn't know.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So
because Rucker Park, again, there was like same thing, 2 different Rucker Parks. There was the Rucker Park with EBC.
Facts.
And then there was Rucker Park with Dr. J and those guys.
Yeah.
Depending on who you talk to, it all is under the Rucker umbrella.
Yep.
If you know from certain eras, and the kind of the same thing happened with Dyckman basketball, right? With if you are a particular age, you know that the Holcomb Rucker League was at Dyckman Park. So it's gonna put your mindset, oh, Mr. Couch was there, which is fine. But if you're a little younger, like around my age, like they're like, oh, that wasn't Mr. Couch's doing, that was Ken, Omar, and Mike. But at the end of the day, it's all about the community. It's all about putting people in a position where they have the platform to showcase, their individual talent and possibly be recruited by coaches of that. So again, like it's two different organizations executing this in the park kind of over the many years. I'll put it like that.
Now let me fill in the blanks for a lot of people because we was all invited down to the mayor's office.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Ken had set this whole thing in motion. I was invited by Coach Ray Haskins, especially all the Brooklyn guys, right? Was invited by Coach Haskins, and we all was at the mayor's office. And, you had all these powerful men in the room who control some of the best basketball tournaments in New York City. Mind you, there was a lot of other guys that weren't there, so I don't want to leave out anyone. But there was, guys that run tournaments that wasn't in the room. But for us that was in the room, we were there representing everyone. So there was a situation where, Coach Couch had said that he was the founder of Dyckman, the original founder.
Let me set it up real quick so they can understand. Right. I'm gonna help it out because I don't want.
So I wanted, because I was the outside looking in, like, okay, well, we all know that, but I didn't know the real story.
So kind of what happened was the host said to the people that was in the room, say who you are and what organization you represent. That's what they asked. So everybody went kind of like back and forth, like across the room. One like back up. So I just happened to be in the middle at the time. I was the last one.
Yeah.
So it got to me, right? And again, everybody said who they are, whether you was Anton Merchant or Conrad McCray, Rose Classic, or so on and so forth, Now it gets to me, and it gets to Ken Stevens, founder, organizer, commissioner of the Dyckman basketball tournament. That's who I am. And everybody in the room was like, yeah, we know that already, which was good, And if you didn't know, let me help you. And then it went to the same question was asked to like the triple OGs who was there, which was the Ray Haskins, Rob Holford, Lincoln Sessons, Jim Couch, and this is what who was talking about. When it got to Mr. Couch, I felt like he took a shot at me a little bit because he said, "I'm Jim Couch, the original founder of the Dyckman basketball tournament."
Well, he had no, hold on. Let's be fair. He had mentioned that first, right?
Yes.
And then
no, he did not.
Yeah.
The tournament. Wait. The tournament directors was first, and then it went to them.
Right. Oh, you're right.
It went to them. That's how it got to that.
Oh,
it went to us first. Remember? It went to us first.
That's when you rebut him and said, "No, let me."
So again, I really wanted to.
No disrespect at all.
I said that. I said I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I don't want anybody to take it as disrespect, but I want to just correct what this young man said.
Yeah,
I said, Mr. Couch, you're not the original founder of the Dyckman basketball tournament.
Right.
You were the site director for the Holcomb Record League. That's who you was, and I thought it was over there because you could have easily said, "I'm Jim Couch, the founder of the Jim Couch Foundation," whatever, and it would have been a smooth night. But it turned out to be like because the people that was in like, wait a minute, he just said he's the founder, and then he comes back and say he's the original founder. Like
we were all confused, bro.
Everybody was confused. Yeah, it was so. I'm happy that we was able to have that moment and kind of clear the air, and hopefully that people will understand the narrative of. Again, I'm not taking nothing away from who he is and what he's done over the many, many years, but you can't just downplay the stuff that we've done over the many, many years as well. So that was the bigger picture. And if I didn't correct it, for yourself, you'd have walked out like, "Oh, you're not really the founder. You piggybacking on Mr. Couch," and everybody else would have the same answer. So and again, it wasn't really to disrespect him, So that's what Paul was talking about in that meeting that we had at the mayor's office about the coalition of all like the summer tournament directors coming together, along with remember there was AAU coaches in there as well. Yeah. So that was hopefully it won't it won't elevate to anything more than that night and move on.
Nah, because even in the beginning of the show, you mentioned that. So that's why I said I want to come back to it and address it later on. But definitely, man. Now, are you still trying to put that commission together?
It's funny thing. I'm looking at the paperwork today on one of my flash drives. Now that was done in 2020 when the pandemic hit, and I kind of put it on the side. And when we were trying to bring it back together with Ray Haskins, with Jasmine and the mayor, I kind of felt that, hey, let's try it again. Let's try to figure out maybe we need to go with, instead of having the all 32 summer leagues that in 2020 it was 32 summer leagues, probably much more now, from Manhattan all the way to Staten Island. I don't know if people know that or not. Yeah, and we are the only city where we have that many summer leagues, But I think we bring it together on a smaller scale, a smaller group of tournament directors, and kind of use that as a pilot to see how we can introduce the commission. Although I'm not against it, But again, I would like to see it happen more for New York City. It's not about me. It's about how we can grow and support and and work together with each other. So,
I thought it was a awesome idea. Brother, you got my number. You can always count me in.
Thank you.
I think it's always a positive thing when black men can work together, because there's this myth that, you know, we can't get along and we don't want to work together. And I think we can be a shining example for kids out there, especially for young guys coming up, to see that, you know, guys from different boroughs can come together and do something positive for the city.
Right. Because it's all about this, what we all do, right? Of course, we want to make sure that our communities are taken care of as much, but we do this for the kids and the city. If you have this, if you're doing it for any other reason, then you're in the wrong space, right? And as you know me and people that's listen to me, y'all know that I'm all about all of us. Like Dyckman is Dyckman. Dyckman is what it is, you know. But if we all grow, we all be able to invite other cities here to compete against us as a whole. That's a win. Instead of us battling each other, you know, for Dyckman, when you see us do special events games, 9 times out of 10 is going to be against Philly, it's going to be against DC, it's going to be Boston, it'll be, you know what I mean?
Against Cali, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to do Dyckman versus another summer basketball league, because it's all the same people, it's all the same, and at the end of the day, like, the person that's playing on that other team is going to play in my tournament tomorrow. I want to see somebody different. I want to go against somebody who we don't never get a chance to see. So when a lot of the special events games go on, and guys ask me, "Hey, do you want to play against this tournament?" And I'm like, "I'm really not interested." They look at me like, "Yo, that'll be dope." Yeah, but dope for who? For who? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
You win, we win. Oh, Dyckman's supposed to win. We lose. Oh, we're the best tournament in New York City. Well, how? How did that work like that? It don't work like that. It don't work like that. I'd rather us, again, like you said, Boston, California, you know, LA, you know, Chicago. Man, let's bring them into the city and have them go through the circuit. One Friday night could be in Dyckman. Saturday night could be in Brooklyn. Sunday could be in the Bronx. That's when you win, not when you go against the Bronx versus Manhattan versus Queens versus. Oh man, that come on, it's all the same ball players, man.
Facts. That's why my slogan is the official home for New York City basketball. We represent the city. Ronald McCants want to say, "Yo, Kenny, peace. This is Omar and Ulrich's cousin Ronald."
I know Big Ron. What's up, Big Ron? It's my guy. Come on, man.
Yeah, definitely. He said my guy Ayatollah B said the each one teach one tournament. Yeah, that was legendary back in the days as well.
Yes. You know what? So think about when you was younger, right? And we're not gonna say each other's age. There was only a few prominent tournaments uptown that made sense.
Facts.
Holcomb, Rucker, and Citywide.
Facts.
Those were the 2 summer leagues back when we was younger that really had the prominence of, if you played in those leagues, then you was kind of legit. Now I know there's other programs that was going on at the time, but if you had a Citywide T-shirt or you had a Holcomb Rucker T-shirt, remember back then?
Hold on. Yeah. Legendary Citywide T-shirts, so legendary. If you had a Citywide T-shirt, you knew you was doing something right.
Yes.
Facts. Holcomb Rucker as well, but that Citywide, that was all over, man. That was all over. Coach Big said, "Thank you, Kenny, for what you do for the kids."
Oh, thank you,
man. Definitely said, man. Who's this? Tar Rivero. Oh, salute my guy Tar Rivero, always on the check-in. He said, "Shout out to Streetball Classic for putting Dyckman in the forefront and showing footage during 2000 during the DVD era special time."
Yeah, those were good times, man. And again, you can't remember it back then. You had the big camera on your shoulder.
Facts.
You know, now you got the phones and they record everything. Before you had the big cameras, and at that time, I don't remember tripods was really out at that time like that. You know,
nah.
So that your production was it looks much different back then than it does right now.
Facts, facts. And listen, I tell people all the time, I have a podcast. I just cover high school basketball. So I don't want to be out there with a camera front like I'm a camera guy where, it's a lot of guys who actually do that for real. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So
right.
salute to all the other media guys who go out there with their camera and really put in that work. Definitely.
So
So
I got something in the works that later when we go offline, I want you to hit me back with, and I want to talk to you about something offline that we can collaborate, together. I think because you said something, you said you do a lot of high school basketball. I got something that we're working on.
facts, facts.
That'd
And
be
my
good.
tournament is high school and down. We don't do pro-am, right? We do high school and we do the little kid. We do junior high school, then we do the 12 and under, right? We keep our own this because in Brevoort back in the days,
Yep.
they had sparingly some pro-am tournaments with St. Louis was doing it and the Brevoort Foundation, but mainly it was like where all the top high school players played, especially during the early 70s and late to mid 80s, like when it was at its height.
Okay.
So for sure, just we gonna make it happen, brother. But
Good.
one of the things I definitely want to touch on, right? Because this is monumental, and I think this was the shift in the culture, right? Let's talk about that NBA lockout period.
2011.
Man.
2011. 2011 was a couple of things happened that year, and I don't know if you remember or not. 2011 was the year that, and it just happened kind of organically, right? 2011 was the year that they had Team Nike.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember that or not.
Yeah.
And
I do.
Team Nike was created, of course, by Nike. That they played at Dyckman, and they assembled kind of the best at that time, the best street ball players. They wanted to see if the best street ball players could play on one team together. If they could they beat other teams in the Dyckman tournament? That was kind of what Team Nike was. And at that time, Maxwell Bingo Coles was the coach, and he had a ton of New York City legends, from Andy Freeze to Kenny Sad to I think Kendrick Clark was on that team. Too Hard to Guard was on that team. Al Shep, Africa, Mike Glover, and Glover. I'm trying to think who else was on that team. Well, they had like the best of the best at that time in 2011, and it just happened to be a lockout year, so that made it even more intense for summer basketball, because guys were trying to figure out, all the NBA guys were trying to figure out where can they play at, where they can get some good running, and because that's the year we had Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, he was doing his pilgrimage through the city. Who else? DeMar DeRozan played. Of course, Ron Artest, Kemba Walker. All these guys played. Again, some of these guys are just pillars in the tournament. But the 2011 was really the Team Nike really put Dyckman in the forefront of summer basketball, because they also had a bounty on their head with, back then, if you was able to beat their team, you got a cash prize. And there was only two teams that beat them the whole summer, and they got revenge on them, which was Team 914 with Jeff McDermott, the big bully problem. That's the team that lost to Kevin Durant, and they beat Kevin Durant in David Park. And also Uwe at that time. Uwe had a monster team at that time as well. So they won the cash prize, but Team Nike wound up winning the championship.
Wow.
Yeah, 2011.
That was some legendary times, and I think that's what kind of shifted you guys into the forefront.
Right
there in that moment, because everybody was still still reminiscent of the EBC, right? Because people don't know you was learning from from Greg Maris, right? You was getting
100%.
notes, right? You was taking
100%.
notes,
100%.
right?
You know, and it's funny because Greg Marius, who the commissioner and founder of EBC, people, they put us against each other. That's the streets, right? But people don't know that me and Greg spoke a lot after I was on the phone about different things, you know, from the game itself to sponsors. He kind of showed me how to do and be in position where I am right now. So I definitely salute and or take my hats off to Greg Marius. But yeah, Rucker Park, which was the next exit going south of Dyckman, or from Rucker Park up, the next exit is Dyckman Park. So as Greg's tournament was going on, we was kind of going on at the same time, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, you know, like anything else in this world, this is consistency of what the product you're putting out on the court. We kind of had our built-in fan base from the community, and one of the prominent teams at that time, you know, was Dominican Power. TMP.
You just read my mind, because that's what I was going next. Dominican Power. Whoa, definitely. Dominican Power. Man, they name ring bells throughout the whole tri-state area.
Yeah. So Dominican Power was again a bunch of guys that played together when they were younger, coming out of the Heights, and Rob Salazar and Slasher, which is one of the Ricardo Rivas, came to me. This was in I want to say 2004 or 5, around there, 3, and say, hey, we got a team that's we want to put in the tournament, and they're all Dominican. But I already knew about the buzz because I heard about it, and our brotherhood and our friendship carries on to this day. And let me just give you a idea of the team they had, so the listeners could understand it right. That time they had Ricardo Greer, who went to University of Pitt. You had Jeff Greer, who went to University of Rutgers. You had Charlie V, who was at University of UConn. You had Lou Flores, who was at Manhattan College. You had Francisco Garcia, who was at University of Louisville. And you had Ricardo Rivas, who was better known as Baca Chow back then. That was his name, Baca Chow, who went to FIT. But I don't want to downplay his presence, because he was one of the main guys of Dominican Power. Even though you had all these guys that had these Division I schools with them, Baca Chow was at that time. So he went from Baca Chow, and then I nicknamed him the Slasher. So Baca Chow kind of went in the background, and everybody started calling him the Slasher, because that was what he come to the basket, boom, bounce pass, laid up. Come on, pick and roll, boom, laid up. He gives everybody 30. Everybody 30, because nobody really knew who he was, but he was good. English was okay, but basketball, now mind you, got a team with all Dominicans all on one team.
Never heard of before. Not in New York.
Never heard of before.
Okay.
So think about what that park looked like when they played for Dyckman Park, which is, or the Washington Heights community, I should say, which is the largest population of Dominicans outside Dominican Republic.
Facts.
So just think about what the park would look like when they played. It was more like an event. It's an event. They had the horn. They had the thing that make the
they had
the music.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful time for New York City Upper Manhattan basketball, because the park again is in the middle of kind of like the Heights, and the community kind of embraced. So when you talk to people about Dyckman Park that lives in the community, they 9 times out of 10 say, "Oh, that's our tournament." The community has embraced it as its own, which is what makes it what it is. You know, and I myself, I love it. I love it. I'm just the person that is bringing everybody together and helping give it some foundation, but the community has embraced it as its own. But Dominican Power was a really, really good basketball team, and to this day, they're really good. They're really a really good team. So, and still going strong within the tournament, along with a whole bunch of other teams and a whole bunch of relations that I fostered over the many years.
Who can forget that Corey Fisher 105-point game? Another legendary Dyckman moment.
Yep. So let's talk about now that time has passed, right?
Uh-huh.
C. Fish really got that 105 at Watson.
Really?
See, I was standing right there. C. Fish.
Yo, hold
really
on. Time out. Yo.
Yep, he got that.
We heard that in Brooklyn. Hold on. I read that off my guy Tara Rivera mentioned that. But in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
What we heard in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
That he did that in Dyckman.
No. So now the time has passed, and C. Fish, I know he's probably listening to all the guys. He got that in Watson, but at that time, when Fish was at Villanova, right? Watson wasn't a sanctioned tournament at that time. So he couldn't use that 105 points unless it was at a sanctioned tournament. So that's why you see him with the Dyckman jersey on with the 105. But that was at Watson. That wasn't that.
Talking about protecting your own. That's what we about in New York City.
Yeah.
Show some love to my guy, Ken Stevens, Corey Fisher, putting it all on Dyckman.
Yeah. So put it there. And what was good about it, I was right there. So it wasn't like I heard what he did. I watched it.
Right.
I watched the he was in that groove that day. He was in that groove. You know, and the competition wasn't the best, but 105 is
105 is 105. We all know as ball players. 105. I think, man, you score over 50 and 60, you get that, man. Yeah. It's like it's a lot. It takes a lot of energy.
Right. So I want to make sure that as you know, we having these conversations that the proper ownership goes where it belongs. And yeah, that 105 Corey had, that was at Watson with my man Lee and the whole Watson family over there. So that was, but so after 2011, then we had 2012 that happened with, I don't remember, Too Hard to Guard, and Brandon Jennings got into it.
Listen,
remember that?
Listen, go ahead and tell a story.
But that happened at Rucker Park.
Mm-hmm.
That happened at Rucker Park with Too Hard to Guard and Brandon Jennings got into it. And Brandon Jennings, that same night after he played at Rucker Park, we was in the park, indictment, taking down the banners, cleaning the park up. Brandon, I'm just really meeting him for the first time. I don't know who he is.
Right.
And he's like, so, I think, I'm not sure if it was with Homicide. I forgot who he was with. He came up to me like, yo, I just killed your man down in Rucker, yo. I just killed your man. I want his name. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, yeah, your man Too Hard to Guard? Yeah, I want his name. So that night, as he was ranting and raving about how, I said, listen, of course, it's easy for you to say what you would have did in Rucker Park, but here, this is his backyard. I guarantee you that won't happen here. It's like, nah, yo, let's set it up, man. What you talking about? Now, I'll kill him anywhere. Nah, man. This park right here, he played on 2,000-3,000 times. So that's kind of what happened. That's how that happened. Then myself and Chris Gotti put it together where we made it the East Coast versus West Coast game. Yes. DeMar DeRozan was on that team. The game was on that team. Brandon Jennings. And then on the Dyckman team, it was Too Hard to Guard, Mike Glover, and Glover, Africa. Bingo actually coached that game that night. And Fat Joe, if I'm not mistaken, coached the game against with the West Coast. If I'm mistaken. I know Fat Joe was there, part of the whole thing, which was dope. But they was going back and forth.
Yeah, because I'm like, yo, let's get to the story, kid, because you got me itching over here.
If you ever look at the footage, right? And you go to Dyckman East Coast versus West Coast game, you're gonna see Brandon comes down, shoots the three. Too hard to guard to come down, right behind him, shoots the three. Brandon's mid-range, too hard to guard mid-range. It was going back and forth. And then too hard to guard, hit him with a move. Then Brandon came and did the throw the ball, bounce off your head. Like, man, like niggas is grown, man. Niggas not doing that shit, you know. But anyway, that was good for the kids. You know, the kids start laughing or whatever. But if I go back and I think about it, I'm not sure if Too Hard to Guard missed a shot the whole night, which caused toward the end of the game, if you go back and look at it, you're going to see Brandon Jetty taking off his jersey. Now he wants to go one-on-one full court. That was 2012. That was amazing. So after the game, it was over. You know, of course, me and Brandon off camera. I told you, bro, not here. And Rucker, it's easy for a black man to score 10 points. They're going to say you had 30. They're going to say you had 30 against this Spanish guy. Now you in his backyard. He got the hood.
Look to New York City. Brandon Jennings, I know I'm going to send this to you on the Gilbert Arena show.
Yes.
New York City gave y'all that business. Put some respect on our name. That's all we want to say. Man. That was legendary right there.
That was an amazing night. Park was packed. So you know, when like for myself, I kind of remember a lot of the moments, right? I forget a lot of stuff, but certain things that bring me back to a certain day or whatever. But I remember that whole night, because that whole night before Too Hard to Guard got there, I'm like, yo, bro, where you at? The park is packed. Yo, bro, I'm not sure. Yo, bro, get in the cab and come to the park, man. What are you talking about? He came to the park, he got out the cab, and the fucking park went crazy. Because we was waiting for him, you know, niggas warming up. I'm like, yo, bro, where the fuck you at? Like, yo, nah, I'm not, nigga. You need to get here. Like about 10 minutes later, he somebody the park that, yo, you just seen his foot come out the car. And the fucking park went. It just was on another level, man. That was right. Honestly, that was dope. You know, for New York City, and of course, there's some legendary stuff that happened across the city always. But I was used for Dyckman. That was you know one of our most iconic. Because now you got an NBA guy. I remember he was in the NBA at that time. An NBA guy going kind of against a street ball guy.
That's right.
You know. Even though he graduated from East Washington, all that other stuff, toward the guard, but like I promise you, he's always gonna be here, man, no matter what, you know. So he's always gonna have my. So that's my guy. That's my guy. I had to do that because he came to the park talking buku. I killed you, man, and fuck da. Like, what the fuck happened? I gotta fix it. You know, so it was good. It was sorry. No, that stuff like that amps me up.
Laugh now, cry later, Brandon.
Yeah.
New York City got that ass. Too Hard to Guard. Salute.
Yeah.
Definitely.
New York City
legend for sure.
Yes. Okay.
All right. We're gonna get back to that. And listen, you're always welcome to come on the show, my brother.
Thank you,
definitely.
Man.
For sure.
Yeah.
So listen, I know one of the biggest things, you know, that I want to give you props for is you helping those kids. Every year, 80 kids. Yeah. You go up in Dyckman, you see all those kids helping out, doing a fantastic job, getting early life lessons on street basketball, and also having a job, right?
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about
because that's huge. You employ a lot of kids, man. 80 kids. We was asking the mayor for one. Okay, but you got 80, and this is.
I'm a product of that.
Together. Yes,
I'm a product of that. When the Hulk and Rucker League was in Dyckman Park, Mr. Couch did that for me. I was one of his summer youth employee workers way back when the Hulk and Rucker League did. So it didn't take much for me to bring that back. You know, I worked the table. After the table was finished, the game's over. I helped clean up the park, you know, and so on and so forth. So that foundation of that was when I was 14 years old, 15 years old, kind of like my first summer youth job, and working under the Holcomb Rucker banner for Mr. Couch. So as we started doing the tournament, and one of my good friends at Edwin de los Santos, Mookie, he was working for Children's Arts and Science Workshop, was asking me, hey, do you think you want to be a site for summer youth? What? So now I look at all the tournaments, everybody got summer youth, which is good. It's fine. I love it. So I'm like, what? He said, hey, this is the criteria that you need to become a work site. And when he told me, I submitted it, and they said it was approved. And then it went into, well, how many kids you need? What? I need 60. So this was many years ago, 60. So I had all the kids kind of help them put up the banners, clean the park or whatever, all the stuff that I've done. Like there's not one job in Dyckman Park that I have not done yet. And I won't do to this day. If you come to the park, then you're gonna see me sometimes putting up the nets, putting up banners. Like that's just the nature of the work. To now where we're in 2024, we're in 2024, right? Going into fam. Last year we hired 120 kids, some of you, because our program, our tournament is 7 days a week. It's not like it's some tournaments on a weekend, some tournaments on a weekday. We're 7 days a week, so we need a little bit more help than other tournaments. So as I go in and I talk to them about our numbers, some of you, they fuss with me for a minute, but they're like, oh yeah, well, all you're doing is giving a kid an opportunity to really get a summer job and learn some hands-on experience of how to deal with people, how to be on time, how to be responsible, how to work by yourself, how to work with others, how to deal with, I mean, it's so many different things, you know, that goes into being an employee at Dyckman, but I love it. I'm happy that we're able to be a work site for the city of New York to hire these kids to help out the summer league.
Nah, that's awesome, man. As y'all can see, we got Dyckman all night right in the background. Look at that. You know what I'm saying? Man, that's awesome, man. And look, and I know I'm gonna be hitting you up there because that's what we're trying to do for this year. This year will be our third year. And, you know, we got a lot of things happening, and we want to make sure that we're able to give kids jobs in our community as well. For sure.
Yeah, we could talk off record, and I could, you know, if you need to be a work site, let me know. We could talk about that.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you have that in your park, and that. So I look at the parks as I move around, and I love it because everybody is able to hire kids for summer youth now, which is good. You know, like, why not? This is not only for me, it's for everybody. You know, if you need help and you have an opportunity to become a work site, then I'm pretty sure that for even for yourself, I know you hands-on. Now imagine you're able to train or, you know, mentor a kid and show a kid how to have good work ethic and things like that, you know. That means that right there will stay in the kid's mind forever, you know.
And look, whether you know it or not, we all come up to Dyckman and we trying to figure out what can we do better. So keep doing what you're doing because it's going to make what we do a lot better.
Appreciate that. Thank you, man. I always tell the guys, I'm an open book, man. Like, it doesn't make sense for me to have all this knowledge in my head and hold it. Like, if people need to pick my brain about stuff, then 9 times out of 10, I'm usually a phone call away. You know, just let's talk about it. You know, I've been through so much and I've done so much, and that's not even a bragging. It's just experience over the 33 years, 34 years. Like, if I have the relations and I can give it to you, all I ask is for you to make sure you cherish that relations and pass it on to somebody else. You know, because that means everything for me to be able to call whoever and be like, the other side, like, yo, you hook me with this dude, and the dude, I wanted to be, yo, you hook me with your guy, yo, he did a great job. Like, send me more people. That's the way this works.
That's what it's about. I'm the same way. You got whatever I pass on, make sure, and you want to make sure who you dealing with is upstanding people as well.
Of course, absolutely.
You don't want your bridge to be burned by somebody who you trying to hook up.
Right. You know, sometimes it works out good, and then there's other times where, it just doesn't work out. But that doesn't mean that, I just know that I can't work with you in certain capacity with certain things no more. That's all.
Facts. Well, listen, I'm gonna get you out of here in a few minutes, man. But I do want to touch on, we talk about all the great things that you're doing, all the great things you did and continue to do. So not only that you run the foundation, you run the tournament, AAU programs, everything that you got going on, hiring kids, being the college coach, at Hostos. You also been a high school coach for like 22 years. Like, brother.
So I am the head coach at Roosevelt High School in Yonkers. I started on the JV level in 2002. And then in 2006, I was able to become the varsity head coach, and I've been the varsity head coach at Roosevelt High School in Yonkers for the last 22 years. So again, it's just like I run marathons. The sprints is easy to do. Like I want to be in this when it started with nothing, and then you look back like, I remember when got here. Now look at the program. Now look kind of what has happened with under your umbrella, and working with these kids, and working with the administrators, and working with the students. At Roosevelt High School in Yonkers, it's family, right? From the athletic director to the assistant principal to the principal, safety officers, the custodians. Like I tried to keep a good rapport with everybody, especially the kids. The kids is everything, right? I think we've done a lot of great stuff for many, many years over there, and hopefully I'll be able to continue that legacy there and help build and put these kids in good situations, or put them in a position where they can continue to excel and learn and grow, and at the end of the day be positive, productive human beings. At the end of the day, that's the bottom line.
No doubt, man. When it's all said and done, people gonna say a lot of positive things about you. Definitely a New York City legend, and what you're doing. So definitely keep doing what you're doing. But if it's one thing that you could change about your journey, what would it be and why?
I don't know. I think my younger years, I didn't know, right? I didn't know how to utilize my relations to, now I'm older. So I kind of like became more experienced in knowing how to have conversations. So again, I can have a conversation in the park with a 6-year-old, and then take 3 steps and have a conversation with a person that's the owner of a major organization. That took time. And then also knowing like this is ours, right? We don't, you own your company, but this is ours for all of us to be able to be a part of and put each other in a good space where we all can excel. So I don't want to go short without leaving out my family, who has been. I met my wife in the park. I met my wife in Dyckman Park. I seen her walking by, and then me and Ralph Pena, who also is executive within the organization, was giggling about it. I'm like, yo, that's gonna be my wife.
Wow.
That's gonna be my wife. And then, years later we start dating, and now 4 kids and 4 kids in and grandkids in, and along with my kids and my niece, who is the director of the social media team, that Sharon Bond, who's an executive within the organization of leading the operation, Sheena, Miguel, Dave. It's like Dyckman basketball is not only built on Ken Stevens. You see me, but what you don't see next to me, right? Not even behind me, next to me, is this invisible group of people that makes this run the way it's been running for many, many years, from the AAU program to our skills and drills program to our summer youth program to the Dyckman basketball tournament. When we got nominated from one of our sponsors, who MSG, and we got the Emmy. We won an Emmy over the last few months. Like, that's just collective. That's for all of us. That ain't from, oh, I won it, I'm kept. Nah, that's everybody's hands was put in for us to win that. Not only from a Dyckman standpoint, from a New York City standpoint. Let's think about that, right? And I say that respectfully, because in order for us to get that Emmy, in order for us to be nominated that Emmy, that the whole community had to come together and be in a space where we could even be in a position for them to come and videotape and be a part of the journey. So when I say that we all won that, I'm dead serious. I look at that, that's a win for all of us, not just all the summer tournament directors. People don't know the behind the scenes stuff that we got to do to get into the parks every summer. Now you're in the park. Now you got to activate. You got the sponsors, you got the teams, you got the kids, you got uniforms. You got to think about Mother Nature, rain site, insurance. There's so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see. They think, oh, there's a game tomorrow. You know how much stuff got to goes in before you even get to that game. And I think that part of when I say that we all win, this is for all of us that put the work in, and can say that New York City as a whole got an Emmy. We all got one. We all got one. That wasn't just Dyckman basketball, So I my kids is.
Yo, shout out to you winning the Emmy. That's just huge. That shit is huge. That was gonna be my last question. I'm glad you segued right into that, because it shows the level of growth and what you was able to accomplish, and that people outside of the basketball space kind of recognize you for all the hard work you put in, and your team, because without them, there's no Dyckman. So definitely salute to you and your team for accomplishing something great that I think, man, it's going to take, other tournaments 22, 30 years, 40 years to accomplish, because, you just didn't come around yesterday and start doing your thing.
Yeah, but the other side, Pooh, is like, and this is what, when I talk to guys about their tournaments, what is your why? Why do you do this? Why do you run a summer league? Why are you in this position where, if you think that you're gonna get filthy rich over doing this, you're in the wrong business.
Facts. That's a super fact.
You lose more than you can gain. You know what I mean? And I say that not from a monetary standpoint. There's one thing that you don't ever get back. That's your time.
That's right.
That's your time. Just think about the time. Like, you can spend easy 10 hours in the park.
That's
easy.
A fact. That's a fact.
Easy. And then go home and do your next, go to work and do everything, and you back in the park again the next day. People don't see that part. People don't understand how much time it takes to organize and put all this stuff together. They just see the finished product and be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, you guys are popping here. What about to get to where we are, and able to maintain that level for years, because it can be like this, that's fine, but maintain the same consistency year after year after year, and continue to provide positive programs, not only for yourself but for your community. and all the sponsors and all the people that support you, and I'm not even going to get into that. That's a whole different conversation. And
Oh no, for sure. But we talking about the long hours, man. Your park, my park, and a few others out here that have lights that we go on well into the evening, right?
yeah,
So it's definitely a lot of hours, definitely a lot of sacrifice and hard work, man.
and I'm not complaining. I don't want you people think I'm complaining or whining.
No,
This is
we
the
work.
reality,
That's right. It's a marathon, baby. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
We out here doing it for sure. Well, listen, brother, man, we could be on here all night.
I promise you, I could be in here for hours.
Man, you got so much to offer, so many stories. It's crazy, man. I just want to say, man, and this is some real stuff, man. I just want to say, brother, I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate
Learning
you
about your story and your journey, what you've been through and what you were able to accomplish.
Right.
Man, this is super, and I'm glad to say that you was on Basketball Heads and you got to tell your story.
You,
and we had the founder of Dyckman on here, and he's a real dude, very approachable. Even before the show, my man was always looking out for me and making sure whenever I come to Dyckman, it's always a good look, man. So keep doing what you're doing. You are definitely a New York City legend.
Yeah.
And man, you run one of the best tournaments in the country.
Thank you,
keep making New York City proud, my brother.
Appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. Salute to you guys and your team, man.
No doubt. Ken Stevens, everybody. Yeah. Ken Stevens.
Yes.
For sure.
All right. Talk soon.
Peace, brother.
Peace.
Man, y'all know what y'all got to do, man. Share the content. Make sure you subscribe, like, do all those things. We do this for these reasons tonight. The reason why the show has been successful as it's been because we want to touch the hearts and minds of the people in New York City and make sure that those who created a foundation and still building New York City brand of basketball, to make sure that we're still the Mecca in the world. It's thanks to guys like Ken Stevens, CEO, founder of Dyckman Basketball. Remember, people, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And even though he has some bumps in the road early, he has some dreams that were deferred, he never gave up. He never gave up on his dream. He was able to accomplish his dream of playing basketball. And then running one of the greatest tournaments in New York City history and American history, period. Because who wins the Emmy from a street ball tournament? I'm waiting. All right. Enough said. We're about to be out of here. I'm your boy, Glenn Pooh Harding. And you've been watching Basketball Heads, the official home for New York City basketball. And like we always do around this time, peace.